Peace up, A-Town Down. It's the third. What's happening, y'all? Joseph R. Wheeler, the third. That's me, the artist, the founder, the president of the Onyxcon Foundation. And yeah, it's what is this post 4th of July, America. Yeah. Anyway, hope y'all had a good one though. Hope y'all had a safe one. I hope y'all, you know what I'm saying, enjoyed. If you like me, the thing I love most about it, I just like the fireworks. I like the fireworks. I like celebratory activities. I like people having good energy. I don't like pretending about his history and what things were that led to what even is called 4th of July, but so I don't get wrapped up in all that. I just more so support the concept of independence as a whole, especially from an artist standpoint. You know, you make the thing your own, turn it into what you need it to be. You know, and that goes along with the topic I'm gonna more or less stick to today, with style. Okay, Onyxcon style. We're going into the element of style today. You know, it's one of the elements of Onyxcon. So we're gonna be talking about that. As you can see, I'm rocking one of my favorite hats that y'all have seen me wear many times. The thing I love about this fisherman hat, bucket hat, whichever you want to call it, is it's stiff enough and structured enough that I can flip it on left or right. I mean, it don't matter to me. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It ain't no salute to no side. Okay, streets, calm down. You know what I'm saying? It ain't none of that. It's just however I want to do it. You know. And right now, I think I'm gonna do it on this side today, just because it's just got a certain angle to it that I like right now. With my shades, and it shows in the lighting in here. Also, the lighting is playing real right off of the lighting on here. You can see the light doing a certain thing over here that I like, and then I got these joints right here. You know what I'm saying? I got these joints right here, boy. I'm trying to tell you, that's that fa. Yo. And I don't wait for nobody else to tell me that they 5'5". They 5'5" to me, and that's all they ever gotta be. You understand? What I will say that's funny though, I was watching this movie. It was an independent movie, sci-fi thing, kind of a cyberpunk concept. And honestly, it wasn't that great a movie. I didn't even finish it. You know, you start and you're trying to like it because style-wise, there were some things, and I see this character in there that had these exact same shades. I said, wait a minute, why did it look familiar? And I like those. I said, oh, because I got those. I was like, yo. Yeah. So that was pretty fresh, just to see that somebody else in the wardrobe department on the set saw that and thought they were cool, and I thought they were cool. And, you know, cool minds think alike, you know what I mean? Shout out to Rose Scott. I happen to be wearing my Rose Scott shirt today. If you know WABE, Rose Scott's A Closer Look, that show. Shout out to Rose Scott. I've been on the show 2 times, and very proud of that in my career. It's one of my highlight moments and a definite honor. If you're from Atlanta, you know what time it is. You understand the prominence and the honor of being on such a show, because that's legendary news commentary, real progressive radio, real edutainment, the realest of the real, some of the best that there is in the nation. So I'm very proud to be able to say that I represented Onyxcon and I've been on that show. So shout out to Rose Scott. And even though this thing has been worn many times and it's kind of fading, it's one of my favorite tees when I want a fitted tee, because it literally fits me right, just like right. It's not too tight, but it's just right. You know what I'm saying? It ain't squeezing me, but it's on me. You know, and it show off the muscles. It show off the been put in the Onyxcon fitness. You know, it show off it's summertime. I'm beach ready. I'm ready to hit that beach. And the only thing wrong with that is we need the finances. So, speak of which, I done got in the zone, y'all. I've done this before, but I started selling again on Marketplace on Facebook. So you can look me up by my name out there on Facebook. You'll see it. You'll see my page. You'll see Onyxcon. You know, you need to be following all that anyway. But you know, I have my personal page just for me as an artist. Then I have Onyxcon, of course, and yeah, on Facebook, you know, they have Marketplace. So you can sell anything. I mean, people sell everything from cars, clothes, furniture, you name it. And I recently was able to sell some furniture, and it was like, it was a hell of a come up, because I literally just like happened upon some mess that somebody else is thrown out, like somebody else's trash and somebody else's treasure. It was just one of them kind of moments. Like, yo, wait a minute. But why are those sitting next to that dumpster? Like, you know what I'm saying? One of them moments. And I was like, ooh, cleaned them up, put them out there on market. And I didn't even think they were gonna go so fast, but yo, had like 4 offers and one person was serious. Everybody else was BSing. You know, that's something you can learn from anybody out here who, you know, whether you're the buyer or the seller, don't be the BSer, please. That is just, that you gonna always lose. Because there was like one person who was getting so particular. Like, mind you, I have made a lot of photos of the objects, like very stylish, like I say, very new in the sense. They weren't new. I mean, I made it clear. I didn't say no lies about what it was. They used, but they're in fair condition. You know what I'm saying? They're definitely fair condition. Like anybody who does upholstery or anything, they don't even need upholstery, but if you just were super particular, you know, you could take all that off and redo the seat and all that old stuff, and it wouldn't be hard for the way these are designed. And but when I looked up the company that made this particular brand, I come to realize these were some high-end furniture items. Like, I probably could have sold them for way more than what I sold them for, but I just said, you know what, I don't even want to go back and forth tit for tat for nobody. I want them to have that ooh response and immediate I want them. And that's just what the buyer was. She was like, I want these chairs. Are they still available? Period. You know, when I told her what it was, and I was like, price ain't changed, it is what it is. And we worked it out. So that's what I'm talking about. It's out here, y'all. I'm telling you, it's out here. It's like, I'm realizing that I needed a win, you know what I'm saying? On some financials, I needed a win. I needed a win for art at the same time. Because these are pieces of art. It said something. It said the same thing to me that it said to her as a buyer, that this is worse. The only reason I didn't keep them for myself is I was like, I don't have a really big space to put stuff in, so I didn't want to crowd it more, and then it didn't really go with the decor, so to speak. So I said, man, I don't like when, you know, I'm not the dude who just be like, when it come to now clothing, yo, you fill up the closet with all kind of colors and vibes and different looks for different times and different situations, you know, if you're really into style like that. But when it comes to the other side of style, like, you know, your spaces, environments and everything, I am one who can get real particular about that, because you can't, I've learned, I've matured with this. It wasn't always that way. When I was younger, oh shit, I would have kept them chairs. I would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna put them in here next to something they totally don't go with, and keep them for the day when I can get more stuff to go with it. And then the problem is, if life don't flow with that schedule and years are going by and you still got this stuff that don't go with nothing, it's just like, what you gonna do with that? Like, and then if you get in the habit of it, it's like you get rooms and rooms full of stuff that never got used, never gonna be used. And then when you have a major life crossroads moment, which is what tends to happen, and then you gotta get rid of stuff. You're forced to get, like, you're moving, and I'm speaking from experience, kiddos. So if anybody out there is young and ain't been through this, you ain't gonna understand until you go through it, trust me. That's just the way life goes. All my older people are just nodding and saying, yes, wow, you know. But if you've been through that, if you've had to move ever, or any multiple times especially, you definitely know, man, it comes down to, what do I have that I just got to keep? Like, it's never gonna be sold. As long as I'm breathing, I want it in my presence, because it makes me feel good. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's like, when it comes to objects, not something that you need for sustenance. You can't eat it, it's not food. You can't wear it, it's not clothing. And even if you can wear it, it's not an essential. You know, once it gets past that, some stuff just ain't necessary. It's just not. So you really gonna get into what's important and what's not, and you're gonna narrow things down, especially when you're moving, because it comes down to weight, man. It's like, I remember one time I lived in this unit that had, like, it was all the way upstairs. It was like 3 layered levels, and I was on the top floor, which I loved being up there. You know, I didn't have the most miraculous view, but I had a nice view of some woods right behind the property, and it was cool. I mean, it was just a vibe to that, you know. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I lived there, and I was like, I used to love it because, like, I would see nature outside the rest of nature outside the window when I wake up. or any time of day. There'll be all kinds of stuff out there, like hawks landing on trees and owls and other birds, and it's just that part was what made it special. And then I could see the change of the leaves when the leaves would change for fall and winter and all that. So you always had a sense of the time, and I like that. So yeah, but anyway, my bottom line is that from that experience, when I had to move, man, going up and down them damn stairs with all them boxes and them heavy elements that you forget how heavy certain things are. You got them shelves, I got some old shelves from my parents that are solid wood that I still debate if by the time I move again, would I keep those or get rid of them, because they really need to just be redone. If I were to keep them, they need to be, completely refurbished. And that's a possibility of something to do, but it's just an expense. So it's like, if you ain't got it right now, it don't make no sense to be talking about what you're gonna do when you ain't got it. Or what I learned too is like, the clock is steady ticking. Life is steady lifing. And you can only do but so much in one lifetime. And certain things go with certain eras of your life. This is the ultimate thing I've started to realize about it. Like, you will get to a point in life where, if you're a collector like I am, and I get honest from my dad and my mom, especially my father, and you could be either a collector or you could be a hoarder. And there's a thin line between the two. A true collector, and what I've learned anyway, is when you are honest enough with yourself that when you've acquired too much of something, you're still willing to sell stuff. There's some things, of course, you'll never get rid of. And that's okay, because those never get rid of things, here's my rule about that. Here's how you know if it's really worth what you say it is to yourself, right? If you're like, depending on what it is, you might have to keep it put away somewhere just for safety of the item, or it needs to be in a certain temperature at all times. It's got to be in controlled climate for storage, if it's in storage and stuff like that. Hold tight. If you don't have it somewhere, somehow it can be visited or seen more, even better. Like, if it's in storage, I feel like it's kind of like, do you really, really love that thing? Or is it like in storage where you got intention of bringing it out? Like, okay, if somebody is a collector of visual art, which I'm a visual artist, so I understand if somebody's serious about it, that can get expensive as I don't know what. And you can run out of space for even in a really nice size house, unless you got a seriously huge house with a big gallery or gallery style walls throughout the whole facility. All right, then you might have enough to put everything up. But if you got to put something in storage because you collect that much art, do you rotate your pieces? Like, okay, I got my spring, or it may not even be a seasonal thing. It's just, I need that out right now. Or this one that never goes into storage. It's always every time I walk in, I need to see that when I come home from work, when I come home from vacation, when I come from anything, when I'm walking around, when I'm doing, I just need to see it. I love looking at that piece of art. That's when that's the stuff you could never, you're supposed to have that with you till the day you die. And then, you put it in your will that only the right people get a hold of it, so that they better be treating it right, because that's how much it means to you. But other than that, when it comes to objects, and I mean all objects, I mean anything from a car to a comic book to an article of clothing, accessory, like, is it something you have to visit or see within 365, a whole year, or is it optional? It's not that big a deal. If it's not that big a deal, guess what? You could sell that. You really could. You're just telling yourself it's so important that I gotta keep it around. Keep it around what? You don't even see it. You don't even know what you have. You done forgot stuff you bought. And I know this is true, and it's very sadly true about a lot of Americans, where we could be in financial destitution, literally on the verge of losing our home, our apartment, our whatever, your car, anything. And I ain't got no money, I ain't got this, I ain't got that. Yeah, you do. You just ain't willing to sell nothing to the next person who either may need it, just want it, and ain't gonna look at it, and then they need to be selling it. but at least the thing has a life versus it's just sitting around. It never gets attention. You know you possess it, but so what? It's like when it comes to reading comics and loving comic books like I do, right? There's some books I would never sell because nostalgia is so deep for me with that book, right? But the irony is, some of those books are just sitting inside of bins. I have these, and I don't use those. I use plastic bins because I know they make those bins that always what makes me laugh. How they have those archival cardboard boxes that are supposed to be acid free and all this other stuff. How about plastic? Most plastic that I would use anyway is usually acid free automatically, and the bags you put comic books in, if you're really serious about your comics, you're going to have them bagged and boarded. So you got the archival paper, whatever those boards are made out of, that doesn't yellow the paper and or slows down that process because it's going to happen over time. And then you got them inside of the plastic, right? The poly, whatever they are, urethane, something, plastic bags, right? So you already got the comic in a bag with plastic. So in my logic, I'm just like, yo, I put my comics in bins of plastic. Now, if I had it really fancy, I might have some wood cases or some nice metal structures of some sort. You know what I'm saying? Draw file things made customized for my books and stuff like that. But I ain't there. So that ain't even important, right? Not to that level. But when I think about how my books are kept, I don't even be looking at them half the time. Like, I literally had this habit. I'll put whatever the latest really cool book I bought was, the way my cases are, you can see through them at the front. But only the front. Whatever book's at the very front, you can see the cover a little bit. You can't clearly see it because of the structure of the plastic and the drawer and all this stuff. But at least you can, I know what it is when I look at that. So I try to keep those books up front so I can see them whenever I'm sitting down. I look over. It reminds me I've accomplished that. I did read that book. It gave me joy. I enjoyed that character interaction, that one scene, the artist's style, the writing, all those different elements of art. I loved it. It's a complete process of beautiful art, and I possess a copy of that amazing moment in history, right? But then there's other books like, I have a couple of books that are like from a cover series where, it's like, it's a spread cover, but you have to buy the A and B cover and put them together. You have to buy both books and put them together to make the whole image. And this thing is so bad, I framed it. I literally bought the book. I kept them in plastic, and I know how to frame some basic framing techniques. So, being an artist all those years, and still forever visual artist forever in the day. But I'm just saying, when I was really hardcore in it. So I used to love float printing everything, float framing, where you don't have a window mat. You don't cut a mat with the exact dimension and the little edge that comes over the edge of the image. No, I don't need all that window mat mess. I like to see them edges. I like to see the whole thing. I don't want no bleed. I want full bleed, right? I'm speaking printing terms now for all my folks who understand what I just said. I need full bleed, right? So I did that with those comics, and I love that way I have it framed. And whenever I come in my space, I can look straight ahead and see that. And it reminds me of one of my favorite artists. It reminds me of one of my favorite covers of all time. Double covers come together, make one image. And it's a poster I couldn't get. Like, if I could have found a print of that, I would have bought the print and framed the print because it's just that raw and cool to me. But yeah, it's like, I like stuff like that. And I learned from a recent situation in the last year where, I always say with shoe culture and sneakers and stuff, I dabble. I would probably go full throttle, be out of control if I was a millionaire. I already know my collection would be insane. But I ain't got it like that, so I don't spend that kind of money on no damn shoes. It's just not happening. And even if I did get it, I would probably have an amazing collection, but I still wouldn't do what everybody else does. Like, nobody else's trend runs what I end up buying or liking. And to speak to that, shout out to Dev Moore, his channel, Moore. He's a YouTuber, and I subscribe to him. And if you know who I'm talking about, he goes around New York and just talks to people on the street about what they're wearing. And it's always really cool stuff, and everybody's really eclectic. And real New York, you know what I mean? Like real New York, how they do up in New York and everything, you know, up top, what they do like that. Everybody's all, you know, unique, and especially the people who are into style beyond that. Like, alrighty, we back in. Yes, indeed, we are back in. So as I was saying, y'all, you know, we just talking about collections, to collecting, fashion, style, sense of personal style, and how all that can connect to even how you make decisions in life when it's time to stop collecting, sell something, commit to something, let go of this, let go of that, focus on what matters, leave the rest alone, all that kind of stuff. And it's a lot of metaphors in fashion and style and all that. And when I say style, I mean everything from what you wear to where you want to be in the environment you want to see yourself in at any given time, work or play, you know what I'm saying? Work environment, play environment, everything, home, where you live, how you like it, you know? So I was talking about how I watched this brother Dale Moore up in New York, and he goes around the city and talks to people about what they're wearing. I also watched the brother, the People Gallery. He's one of the legends. That dude there, just man, he done interviewed everybody for the little 1 minute. How you doing today? You know what I'm saying? Like, where you from? What's your name? And what you wearing? And they go through all their stuff, what they got on, and at the end he always asks them what their sign is and what their favorite meal is. Very simple, but very effective, and it's great questions because depending on the person, it always opens up more conversation, and sometimes it gets past a minute, and I love when that happens, when there's somebody who's got a lot of energy and a lot to share, and they don't seem annoyed, like it took him 2 hours to even negotiate with the bodyguard and the damn publicist and everybody else for the celebrity to just let them do it. Like, he's big enough now and he's known enough that it's an honor to have him do it if you're wearing something that he notices and wants to talk to him. So that's all. Like, I saw him do one for Sierra recently. If you ain't seen that, it's over on his Instagram. I thought that was cool. Shout out to Sierra, A-Town all day, you know what I'm saying? ATL. And she was just wearing something pretty fun. It wasn't nothing too flamboyant. But, you know, it was definitely superstar look, you know, some leather pants, whatever kind of heels she had on, some funky t-shirt with a deep split for the cleavage kind of look, one of them crop top type shirts, which I feel need to be really just, that's a woman style, unless you're a short dude. If you're a little short dude and you wide, okay, that works for you. Like, people crack me up wearing stuff that's not, it's like it was literally made for a certain body type and you're forcing the issue. It's just like, you know, and then we all do it. I'm not saying we don't all do it. If we like something, we gonna wear what we want to wear. Sometimes, I'm telling you from experience, being, you know, the elder statesman here, the silver fox here, these gray hairs in my chin are real. I can remember looking back at photos when I was in my 30s and seeing something I wore when I was in my 20s. That, let's say it was a really cool shirt. Like, there was a shirt I had. It was one of my favorite summertime shirts. It was based on, you know, naval patterns. So it's like this beautiful navy blue and white striped shirt, short sleeve with full down. It was just like, you know, to about right here at the chest buttons, but it was really wide and really big. Like, I bought it probably 2 sizes larger than what I am. And because I was on that 90s stuff. I mean, to this day, I still like certain things baggy, and it ain't gonna never change. It has to be loose, or I'm not wearing it. For some things. Now, for some other things, like depending on the cut of the thing, like I told y'all earlier with this t-shirt, for instance, it's hot as hell out here. It's 91 degrees. Typically, I wear an undershirt and then another t-shirt. You know, whether it's a tank top or just another white t-shirt or something, or a gray t-shirt, black, whatever, as my base shirt, and then my whatever the statement shirt is, you know, whatever logo t-shirt, or just even a white tee if it's just, but a thick one versus, you know, something like it's substantially like on purpose, like that is the look, this white tee, you know. But unless I'm doing something like that, you know, like yesterday I had on a white tee with an undershirt, you know what I'm saying? It was a nice little fresh look. But today it's so damn hot. I just felt like wearing something thin. This is a thin t-shirt. It's breathable. I'm about to be sweating today, working and stuff. I just want to be comfortable in the heat. I don't want to be extra sweaty because I'm wearing more layers to catch the sweat. I want the air conditioning to hit the sweat and cool me off a little bit in the car. Now, when I go in stores, it's different. I always have me a nice, light, stretchy. This is my favorite joint right here. I love this. This little hoodie right here. I wear that when I go in stores because it keep me, being freaking icebox. Because they're going to have the air blasted, in most places. So that's what that is. But anyway, it's like a science to it with style, and then there's the actual style itself. So, we do what we want to do, but like I was saying about that shirt, the shirt was pretty big. And I saw this old photo of me, and I was turned to the side, and I laughed so hard. That's when I created the phrase. I said, man, I don't mind something big, but I don't want to look like a bell. Like, if you think about the shape of a bell, and there's different types of bells, but I'm talking like, the usual, the shape like the emoji for bell, okay. And you got the little ringer thing in the middle. That's you. You're the little thing in the middle that goes ding, 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 ding against the shirt. And the shirt is the bell. Like, that's how big that shirt was on me. It's like my head was up here. The shirt was this damn big. My head is this big. And my legs continue this thin between the bell. And I was just like, man, look how big that damn shirt is. Like, it looks silly. Quite frankly, it looks silly. I had to be honest. I had to eat myself. I roasted myself for that for years. I laughed so hard. I said, man, why didn't nobody tell me I was stuck that hard in the 90s? It's like, I can remember literally going in a store getting excited at a certain time in my life because they had 3X and 4X. That ain't for me. But I thought I wanted that look, you know what I mean? And it was ridiculous. Like, it's too big. I don't mind big. I'm not gonna say this and then y'all not gonna ever see me in something big, because as soon as fall come back around, I love a big hoodie and stuff like that, but not too big. I still want it, as long as I can turn to the side. And if I do the bell check. Like nowadays when I try on something like that I want big, I'm gonna do a tip forward and backwards. And if that shirt is moving on its own just from me doing like this, and it looked like it's going ding dong, bing bong with me in the middle, I'm like, hell no, I'm not wearing this. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous to me. I'm not going for that look, So, it's a choice. It's a choice. But things you have to come to, like I say, it's maturity. The older we get, we decide what works for us, what don't, and why. And I've definitely grown a lot in my style maturity and my variations. Yeah, y'all. Word is born. It's nice and hot out there. It's not feel every bit of it. It's more like 97 degrees. Sheesh. But I ain't complaining though. I like the fact that when I do this, I get my little workout a little bit. Nothing major, but way more than most people do in a day. So, active jobs is where it's at for me, for my lifestyle, for what I gotta have. Real talk. But anyway, I was saying, so like, I just started evolving my style. And, like I saw a young lady on that show today say, on the Dev Moore thing, she was being interviewed, a real pretty little petite thing, super tiny little thing. She's so cute though. And she said, once you know your body type, you just wear stuff that fits you and you're going to always be all right. You just, like, don't be looking at everybody else's body type like, oh, I like that, and go get the thing exactly like they got it on them. It's like, yeah, it's made for their body type, not you. Like, you can get the exact thing, but get the cut that's made for you. If they don't have the size for you, it's just not going to work. You think it is, but it, like I say, you got a decision to make. Everybody like what they like for whatever their reasons. So if it makes you happy, because somebody else said that, somebody older said, just wear what makes you happy. And that's true. Wear what makes you smile. If you look at yourself, like even back then with that shirt that I thought was whack later, at the time, I may have thought I was fly as hell in that shirt. At the time, you couldn't tell me nothing, right? So that's where that phrase come from. You can't tell me nothing. It's like, you just, yo, you got to go through that. You got to go through it. You got to live it, you know. But that it's fun. It's actually, it's all part of life, you know. It's good to have them moments when you look back later. You're gonna laugh at yourself, and it's good to be able to laugh at yourself, not take it so serious. Like, yo, you lived, you learned. If you ain't never had that experience, you're not living. If everything you ever wore was always so perfect or whatever, that's boring too. Like, there's an even little area of experiences that make it what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So go for all of it, but mostly stay in the zone of what makes sense. That's all I'm saying. And definitely when it comes to money, don't be overpaying for none of this shit. I mean, none of it. You know, like, because it will get broke. It will get missing. Somebody will steal it. If it's all this money involved, oh, these are $5,000 shit. Well, you just asking for somebody who ain't got it to hit you up someday or take it or whatever the case. Because folk be desperate thinking that they need it and they don't even need that mess. But or they might literally be in survival mode and be like, man, I don't care nothing about the shoe. I'm about to trade this in for rent and food for a whole month. You know what I'm saying? Like, but, you know, most thieves out here that do what they do, they ain't thinking like that. They just as materialistic as the people they robbing from. So they just want to be seen in it. Now they wearing it. And then somebody hits them up for it. And the cycle just keeps going. There's all this death and destruction over stuff that was made for a fraction of what you tripping about it being worth, and it ain't even worth. Like, value truly is psychological. It is not economical. It's psychological. You place the value on everything that has value in your life. You create that. You either create that or you fall prey to what has become establishment. And we all got to live by that BS. That's the reality of why I'm out here right now doing this job, this courier gig. Because I got to get money to make sure all my bills paid for, so I don't feel the stress of when I want to take a break and I got to be worried about this bill and that bill and, oh, snap, did I move that over there? Because if I don't have that there by this date, then they going to get me. Man, that's, woo. It's exhausting and it's constant. And it's worse than it's ever been right now in this country because of how things are. We're not going to go too far on that because then I lose my fun side and get angry and start talking about bullshit politics, tricks, you know? So all I can keep saying is just like, yo, you got to find your own system of value and keep that in the front of your mind at all times for everything. Like I say, for what you collect, for what you make your hobbies, or if you're a style-oriented person, you want to have really cool stuff. But just keep it sensible. Like, if you realize, yo, man, I like certain shoes, I like certain outfits, whatever it may be. Like, I always say to myself, like, are you really liking that? Like, I've never had a problem with that because I'm just not a follower. I'm not somebody who's like, well, what is everybody saying is the hottest? I don't give a damn what everybody else thinks. All I care about is when I look at it and I get that instant, oh, I love that feeling. That, oh, shit, that's dope. As soon as I do that, it's on. Like, that's it. What's up? Fam is in the house. Fam is in the house official. Brother Francis E. Rebels Bay, legendary numerologist, metaphysicist, many other things I could add to the list. Shout out to my cousin. That's real fam right there, y'all. Check him out. Look up Circle of Grace, okay? On all things. Instagram, I assume here, but I definitely know on Instagram. That's his page. Check him out. Real supporter of Onyxcon and real family right there. Much love, cousin. Appreciate you. Yeah. My logo looks good, even tiny. My redo of the logo looks good. I redid his logo years ago, and it's an honor to have done that for him. And I can see it clear, even in this. It's so tiny, but it looks really good. That's how you know a logo is strong, when even small or big, it's at you. You see it. You know where something is, maybe. But no, I'm just up in here, yo. I'm out here doing my courier thing, man. I got to do what I got to do to survive, as I always do when I go live. I be talking and chatting and rolling and steady trying to get the money so I can take a vacation this year. I should have been planning for a July vacation as usual, but it ain't gonna happen like it usually happens, because I was just talking about how crazy this economy is and all that messing it all up. But it's whatever. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna find it. You know, my Onyxcon supporters gonna kick in, and hopefully some other job stuff I'm putting in for, and fishing as we do in my family. You know how we are. We some fishermen. We some fishing men and women. I'm an angler for life, so it's like a metaphor for life. I'm always out there. My pole always in the water. Somebody gonna bite. I'm gonna get what I'm supposed to get. I ain't worrying about it. Respect first, then power, then money. That's the proper order of everything. That's how we say it over here. The gospel of Onyxcon. Come on now. So, not to get too far off topic, but it's good to know you're watching. Appreciate you. So I wanted to say too, I was talking about style and everything, and relating it to life's decisions and how people collect. And you can get so much stuff that you don't really need. And I say, how you can determine a need and a want, or just a hoarder versus a collector. I said, collector gonna sell some stuff when the times get tough and realize, man, I don't even look at this, or I don't have to look at this, or I don't even have to visit it. It's not necessary. And a lot of people I admire who travel the way I want to travel, when I watch their vlogs and everything, when they get down to the nitty gritty of how they got their first funds together to start the process of regular travel, they always say, I know they're being exaggerated when they say the way they say this, but I sold everything. They're like, damn, everything? Like, what you mean? Yeah, I sold everything. All I had left was my drawers. It's like that. they be killing me. They always say that, and I'll be like, damn, is that the sacrifice you got to do? You just have to sell everything and just take all that money and just go. But in reality, you know, they didn't sell everything, but I understand the concept of most everything I didn't need, I got rid of, because if it wasn't pushing me to the goal, then the hell with it. I got to get it out the way, because the goal of whatever, you know, like somebody, a phrase I heard, I can't remember, I hear so many things, you know, the energy you have, you attract once you set determined goals. And it's like, from movies to stuff I watch on YouTube. I can't remember which one I heard it on, if I heard it twice in different ways, but somebody say, I don't collect things, I collect experiences. I said, preach. Exactly. Like, the older I get, man, the closer I get to this, you know, I don't talk about it too out loud too often, but I'm more and more proud of the number, because I know what it is, the significance of it. But the closer I get to this 5-0, hello, on 9/9 Divine, my birthday, okay, September 9th, I'm like, man, what matters and what don't matter? That's all it's coming down to. What matter and what don't matter. What never mattered, what's gonna matter, what forever mattered. And experiences is everything. So I would rather have, you know, I mean, like, I think about some things I collect, like, you know, my comics, and I got a lot of really cool art books, and some of those things I will never let go, because I genuinely be holding them, thinking I have this idea of an honest, when I say those are the Onyxcon archives, I mean that. But I want it to literally be something where, you know, in my eldest of elder years, I want to have facilities and things to welcome the public, and you can come in, and it's be like the Auburn Avenue Research Library here, where maybe you can't check the books out, but you can come in. If you're doing research, you can come and look through all the books. Or if you want to see that comic book that you never saw, well, I got it. Here you go. Check that out. You know, whatever. Like, yeah. So I'll be holding tight on that. But at the same time, there's some other things that you know, like, especially my personal, hold tight, y'all. Here we go with the work getting in the way. And this is why I always say when I go live, for anybody who's not a subscriber yet, if you get tired of me cutting off and cutting back on, then why ain't you hit that subscribe button yet? Because that's literally one more step towards financial freedom. Yeah. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. And you don't stop. Freak, y'all, and you don't quit. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I always forget the actual legendary hip-hop group that first did that. It has been sampled so many times. But I was laughing because I was passing by this little family out in the front yard having them a little water park, made up water park. They got the hose going and some little tarps down, and the kids out there running and sliding on the tarps and others. They made them a water park in the driveway. I love it. That's what I'm talking about, man. Just Figure it out. Have fun. Live your life. Damn it. Do not get caught in the, well, if I'm going to do this, it has to be like this. And I got to get this brand of such and such. And if I don't do that, we didn't do that. You said you want to go to a water park. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do in it? We're going to slide on the things and I'm going to be in water the whole time. Okay. So we got water. We got some stuff you can slide on. It's safe. We can't afford to go to that park, but I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna get out here in this driveway, and we're gonna watch for cars going by and no kids going in the road, and y'all gonna play until you fall asleep. Cause you ain't gonna pay for a couple of hours at max anything, but you might not make it an hour. You know, that kid energy, they go hard per minute, but then they deplete that energy box and they fall out, and then they want to hop back up maybe an hour later or whatever. But yeah. So you know how it go, y'all. But anyway, summertime, right? But what I was getting at though, back to my other topic about, selling stuff, keeping stuff, what's really valuable to you? Like, to me, it's experiences, not things, because I can't take the damn thing with me, man. But my experiences can affect somebody else's life forever. Like, when I share that as a vlogger, when you see what I saw through my eyes, through the camera, you'll never get it completely, to the level of what it feels like me standing there or whatever until you take that trip. But it can at least inspire you to take that trip for yourself. And that's literally what watching vloggers or anything that I admire has done for me with YouTube, and why I love YouTube. It's like, from travel to fashion, you see something you want to wear that you have never seen, and you get inspired by something that it ain't even about affording it. I love to see the people on the street show when this guy walks up, because most of those people are thrifters, and I'm a thrifter to a certain extent. Like, I'd say I used to be more. I used to be almost like 50%. I used to be shit. One time I was like 75% thrifter. Like, they might say 90 or 80, quite frankly, because when I was hardcore in the film biz, when it was really popping, and when there was a lot of stuff filming in Atlanta, and work was abundant, and I was doing a heavy amount of background work, they would, certain characters require certain looks, and if you don't have, they say, you better have this color shirt or this type of suit or what. I had to go get it, and I couldn't afford it brand new, so I go to Goodwill, and I would be on the come up. I went from 2 suits I had bought to, I'm talking about, bought new, to like a closet full of suits that I bought from the thrift store. You know what I'm saying? And all of them were just as fresh. Some of them fresher than the, for different reasons, fresher than the other ones that were brand new. Just, they had their own unique look that you would never find nowhere else, and all that. And I had those different styles and stuff. And so, and it got me work. Like, it paid for itself over and over and over and over and over and over. Like, I'm talking about, these were workhorses. I used to call all my shirts and jackets and stuff. I was like, man, these blazers and shirts and pants, these are workhorses. Because I was always getting these corporate roles, and I had to dress like I was going to somebody's office. I was the lawyer, I was the doctor, I was the head of something at a CIA or FBI or whatever. I was on the show Ozark. I was on Being Mary Jane. I was on, man, there's so many doggone shows. Good gracious. I was in both Black Panthers. I was in, so much. Captain America, you name it. I've been on and all, everything Marvel just about I was on back in that day. And all types of other offshoot shows and everything. Casual Looks, Suburban Dad was a role I got a lot. Had my polos and khakis and everything and all that. I'm talking, I was killing it. Still killing it, of course. But I'm just saying, this is when the work like that was regular, And I had all those looks. But then, I was even looking through my closet recently, and I realized some of those clothes, some of them never fit me just right, because it's thrift stuff. Like, you may have needed longer arms, but it didn't matter because you always wore it with a blazer, so it didn't matter that the cuffs didn't come just a little bit past the edge of the jacket. They were inside way back here. They ended, or something like that. But it was a really nice shirt. It had a nice look, and it fit the rest of my body. So with a tie, it was fly, all of that kind of stuff. But the older I get and as time is passing, and I see now that I'm going into a new era. It's like you got to see the seasons of your life. You got to be like, you know what? It's time for me to be honest about it. I done read articles. I don't even have to read the articles. I'm living it. Like, I'm not working as much as I was in the film biz. It's not to say I won't ever again. Of course I will. Once you're you're in forever if you want to be. It's like, without even being in a union, you're in a union. It's an unsaid union of you've done the work, we remember you, and the phone could ever ring again. Now, it's very inconsiderate to your desire for it to ring all the time. It'll come 5 years from now. And if you waiting on that phone, yeah, you can mess around and be damn near homeless. Now, if you like me, you're not gonna wait on nothing. You're gonna keep going and doing whatever else is right for you. So, I'm looking at all kind of other jobs based on other skills I've created. Doing this courier thing as long as I have, I'm looking at a major job with that should set me straight when I get it, if it's meant to be. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I always, I don't even, everybody, y'all don't talk about your jinx. Man, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Ain't no damn jinx. That's just what that is. If I choose to tell you, I ain't worrying about y'all, because y'all can't say nothing back unless you're a subscriber. And if you ain't supportive, you ain't gonna say nothing no way. Y'all just gonna hate and keep moving, whatever. But my real one's gonna be supportive in the comments. They're gonna show love. They're gonna thank me for another video. And that's all. That's the only reason I do this. I do that for those people, the positive people. The rest of the world don't matter. Never did, never will. All I care about is positive people. Every day I wake up, people who really show love, and that's it. That's all that matters. The realest of people on this earth. So, like, if that's meant to be, it's gonna happen, and that'll be good. And like I say, I still got the phone ready. If Hollywood calls, if my independent connections for independent films call, if enough finances come where I can do another film, because Onyxcon Films, it's a real thing. We did a film called Biggity. What is it? We did a film called Boss in conjunction with Creative Genius Films. We did a film, we've been working. We've been working, y'all. And when you take time to pause and give yourself your own flowers, you realize how much work you've done. It's like, man, I'm a bad mother sucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, I've been working my ass. I've been working, y'all. A lot of work. I mean, a lot. Like, lifetime worth of work for what the average person gonna do. You done done it 2, 3 times, 4, 5, 6 times. Like, seriously. So, and it's hard to see it when you're doing it, when you're in it, because everybody else that's in it with you, at various levels, y'all just at work. That's all y'all see it as. It's just the moments on set, the time, either waiting to get in front of the camera or in front of the camera, or other time when it's, I've done PA work and behind the camera and all of that. But the people you meet, the folks you get to associate with and all that, it just adds up. And once you really realize the value of it, you realize, okay, if it's meant to be again, it will. Even though the industry is drying up in Georgia, it really is, but it's not just here. It's drying up, period, in the U.S. It's been a mess in Cali. Now it's just official across the board. I got friends in Cali who told me, man, I have not worked in months. And these are major people. These are people who do Marvel movies regular. These are people who always in front of the camera, you know what I'm saying? So for them to be like that, that's, between that and then some other friends of mine who work behind the camera, and they talking to their union reps, and somebody telling them how many people they actually got working out of the mass of people that should be working, and the percentage is so far off. It's like 25% working, 75% sitting at home. Yo, it's real, y'all. It's real. It's damn real. Anything you hear and read about it, it is real. It's probably worse than what you read. And they can't give the full report because it's tied to too much money and the stock market and everything, and they trying to keep the investors. It's okay. It's gonna come back. Don't tell them it's not coming back, but tell them it's gonna be all right. We're gonna be great. We're gonna be good. It's gonna be. You'll see. It's gonna be wonderful. No, it's not. no, it's not. No, it's not. Not for a while. And a lot of it is what's going on from the White House to the rest of all these other houses. It's affecting everybody. And then you add in the tariff situation. Like, I know firsthand, I've seen the shipments that come in from furniture to clothing to, oh my gosh. Like, I remember when I did Wakanda Forever, and they housed the entire wardrobe department for it at Tyler Perry Studios. See, people don't know, man. Tyler done helped so many movies. Like, you see Captain America: Brave New World. See, I can talk about all this now because the movie is out. But that White House scene and all those White House scenes, that wasn't in Washington. That's at the Tyler Perry White House for the show The Oval. And he can rent that out for anybody else who needs a White House scene. Hello. Tyler smart as hell. But anyway. And, but yeah, that's what that was. And so when I was over at the dress, I was getting my wardrobe check for the character. I was going to be a FBI guy. And I went for a fitting. And I just remember seeing these huge, like, I'm talking about the size of a small mini car in bulk, boxes full of clothes. Like, that's how the average unit looks, what comes off of some freight yard somewhere, right? But imagine a whole 18-wheeler full of those, okay? And imagine like 10 of those already unloaded into one area and another 10 coming per day until they got enough for what they need for each scene, or more than enough, because they love to have more than enough. The biz is all about abundance. They are not about to be, they don't want to do, when they doing them multi-million-dollar projects, yeah, for a low-budget film, that's a different story. But when you're talking Marvel money, DC, Disney, etc., they go bulk, they go hard, they're going to get more than they need. They're going to have more than they need. And they're not worrying about or at least until stuff gets like it is now, they're not worrying about the cost. They got the budget. But now, with the way things are and shipping and all that, man, please. That's what's between that and everything else. It's taking a hit, y'all. It's taking a big hit. And it's affecting lives. Like, literally, people are having to switch careers. People are having to just do all kind of other stuff. And I saw this coming, and I talked about it for years, and I often would say, you know, hey, my biggest gripe with people who live by the code of they put money first. Everything's money this, money that, money. I keep telling y'all, man, get you some mitigation skills, get you some realization skills, and focus on respect first, then power, then money. Because money didn't always exist, but what will always, forever and eternity exist is respect. And if there ain't nobody out here that respects you, there damn sure ain't nobody out here that love you. And ain't nobody gonna look out for you when the ish hits the fan. And the ish is hitting the fan, and a lot of people are realizing they never had no real friends. They just had a bunch of people that they made money with. And now y'all all looking at the clock saying, I got how many months or years possibly before, oh snap, now you're the definition of what you've been making fun of people for years on social media, calling folk broke, talking about you broke. Y'all making stupid ass rap songs talking about brokey, all these little slang terms, you a brokey. And who the fuck, what's broke? What? Cause somebody ain't spending their whole damn check on some, keeping some high-end European brand rich?